Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Golf on Tap. You can follow us at On Tap Golf on all social media platforms, or at least Twitter. I am Joey Ricotta at Joey Knows Nothing, joined as always by my co-host Jack Bushman at Jack Bushman2. Jack, we have the Valero Texas Open this week. Last week we had match play. You had Cam Young go down to the wire there against Sam Burns, who picked up his fifth victory now on the tour, and just it looked good for you. It looked really promising for you. I thought you were going to pull it out. We talked beforehand, before getting on here, that was probably his best matchup that he could have asked for. And then what does Sam Burns do? Like 8 birdies in 13 holes or something ridiculous like that? How are you doing, my friend, after what transpired this past weekend?
Yeah, a little frustrating. I really did think it was going to be a perfect situation for Cameron Young to pick up his first career PGA Tour victory. Just another runner-up finish for him, but it was his first week with Paul Tesori on the bag, who used to be the longtime caddy for Webb Simpson, of course, a very veteran caddy on the PGA Tour. And I had similar good luck when Will Zalatoris brought on a new caddy at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. So it only felt right that I'd put money down on Cam Young to pick up his first PGA Tour victory a week after getting a new caddy. Came oh so close. Sam Burns just went on an absolute bananas run, as you mentioned, 8 birdies and 13 holes. 5th PGA Tour victory for Sam Burns in the last 3 years, putting him in some pretty elite company, Joey. Only Max Homa, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and Patrick Cantlay have won at least 5 times in the last 3 seasons. So Sam Burns quietly is, moving up the ranks. I know he hadn't been playing all that well prior to the match play, but just another reminder here that this guy can hang and beat the best of them in the entire world. So even though I came up on the wrong end of the final outcome, for the second consecutive week, I had Spieth a couple weeks ago at the Valspar. So it's been a tough swing for me here, but, we're gearing up towards the first major of the season. Of course, the Masters is just a couple of weeks away. So I like where the form has been at recently. It's been a heck of a lot better than it was to start off the 2023 campaign. So I feel like we're on the right track. Had a couple of close calls here the last few weeks. Maybe we can break through this week at Valero, Joey, which is kind of I really do like the course, absolutely hate the field. And I get it. It's the week before the Masters, right? Like, everyone who's already punched their ticket there for the most part has no business playing in this tournament. So it is a weaker field, but it is a course I really do like. So I'm kind of torn about it all.
Yeah, they're at TPC San Antonio. It's definitely a good course to be at, to watch, and something like I'm kind of torn too. I'm the same way. I kind of just want to skip past and get to the Masters because it's the Masters. And this week is opening day is this week on Thursday for baseball. So as you know, I'm a huge baseball fan. We've got the Cubs game that me, Ron, Juice, Tyler, all the Cubs on Tap guys are going to be there, or hopefully at least I think Ron said about 80%. We'll see about Nick. But yeah, so we're gearing up for that. I've got fantasy baseball drafts still to go. We've got a futures show tomorrow. Quick little plug for On Tap Bets. Check that out tomorrow with me and Beaton for the MLB season. So getting really excited here, kind of itching for, we got the major coming up on deck next week. And like I said, opening day. So, and we might have a guest on the show tomorrow for On Tap Bets, but neither here nor there, Jack. We are here to talk golf. And before we do that, though, I just kind of want to shout out something I saw. Everybody pretty much knows it now, but I feel like it's our obligation to mention it. This is a golf show and not just a betting show. Mike Trout and Tiger Woods are going to go ahead and have a course made in Vineland, New Jersey, which is right by Mike Trout's hometown, Millville, very close to there. Designing a new course out there, which is going to be called Trout National, the Reserve. So exciting stuff there. I mean, Trout can drive the ball. He's a baseball player, so of course, and he hits long balls like nobody else with a baseball bat. Obviously, a big golf fan. His handicap, I forget what I saw his handicap was at, but it's cool when you see these two sports kind of join forces, right? I mean, I was talking about baseball opening day, and now we're talking about baseball and golf colliding this way with Trout and Tiger Woods, two of the greats in both sports. Jack, what do you think about this course that we're going to have in 2025, it looks like?
Yeah, I think this is a really good idea and a smart way for the PGA Tour to kind of branch out and maybe get some other fans who perhaps don't watch a lot of golf intrigued. Just bringing up a superstar's name like Mike Trout. And for the people who have seen those videos of him at Top Golf, just absolutely nuking the drives, feels like it was kind of a natural fit. And you mentioned Mike Trout is a bit of a golfer himself, too. So I think this is a very cool collaboration and hopefully just the start of more things like this that we see the PGA Tour or just even Tiger Woods or other professional golfers go and do, because that's how you grow the game of golf, right? So I like this idea. It's going to open up in 2025. I'm interested to see what kind of course it's going to be, how they're going to structure it all out, and what the design is and all that stuff, and how difficult they make it. All those little details. I'm really intrigued to see what it's all going to be about. So I do think it's a really cool idea, and maybe the first of many collaborations like this we see in the future in the game of golf, which I think is certainly a good thing.
Yeah, any way you can grow it, right? Any way you can grow the sport, any way you can grow both sports, really. I mean, maybe this draws more attention to a team out there on the West Coast that people don't stay up too late to watch, right? Maybe they just want to see Mike Trout now. Of course, Otani's over there, so you have the international star in Otani as well, and their team still can't figure out a way to win. But yeah, I'm all for growing golf too. I mean, that's kind of the key here. That I am interested to see what they do with this course, but who knows? Maybe they make it a little bit easier for the homies over there that are, his hometown people that are over there that he knows aren't as good of golfers. But it sounds like it's going to be, a legit course, at least on the surface of what it sounds like. So when you have two legends like that, you can only expect the best. But Jack, this week I want to keep things a little bit abbreviated because, and we talked about that. You have the Blackhawks to watch. I'm gearing up for baseball. We got to do our thing, and we have to look ahead to the Masters next weekend, which is really what we're going to spend a lot of time on next week. So give us a little bit of I know you wrote about this at ontapsportsnet.com, but give us a little bit of a preview, I guess, of the course and what you see here from TPC San Antonio.
Yeah, TPC San Antonio, I mentioned earlier, I'm a little bit torn about how I feel about this tournament. I do really like this course, but I'm also a little torn by it as well because the last 2 years I've bet on this course, it played extremely difficult on the weekend, in particular on Sunday. And my guys that I had bets on that were in the mix, I remember Ryan Palmer, I think, teed off in the last group and shot like 5 over and ended up finishing like T30 or something. Last year I had Matt Kuchar, who made a little bit of a late charge. Anirban Lahiri, when he was still here before deferring to Live Golf, was someone that I had money on too. Lucas Glover, the glove was like a 130 to 1 long shot that I had, and he was in contention on the back nine. I was like, oh my goodness. But the volatility of this course does come into play, Joey, because it's an absolute beast. It is nearly 7,500 yards long, 7,494 yards. Was actually designed by two live guys. Greg Norman was the one who designed this course with help from Sergio Garcia. It's hosted the Valero Texas Open since 2010. It's an absolute beast, though, of a par 72, one of the longest courses we see on the PGA Tour and one of the most difficult from tee to green, mostly because of the length off the tee. Really interesting stat about this course in particular. Usually, strokes gained approach is far more important towards the top finishers and winning a golf tournament. Here at TPC San Antonio, driving distance is actually off the tee game is actually something that really tends to matter because it's such a long course. And another tidbit about that off the tee, we have seen some bombers have an advantage here in recent years because the rough has really never been too penal at this course. So guys can kind of just go out and hit it as far as they can, not worry about hitting the fairway. Just try to limit the amount of long iron shots in because as we get into the hole by hole breakdown, all the holes here are really long, right? Like 3 of the 4 par 3s stretch at least 200 yards. One of them gets all the way up to 241 yards. And then the par 5s too. Usually the gimmies on the PGA Tour, that's not the case here at TPC San Antonio. 2 of them annually play over par, and 3 are 591 yards or longer. So there are going to be a lot of 3-shot layup holes on those par 5s, and it's not a guarantee that you're going to make birdie on those 3. There is one that is only 550 yards, usually plays as the easiest hole on the course. And then even looking at the par fours this week, Joey, you have 4 that range between 400 to 425 yards, but 5 of them get up over 450 yards. So it's not an easy course to score on because it's just so long. And also the green complexes here, some of the most difficult to hit on the PGA Tour as well. They usually rank right up there with uh, Harbor Town and Riviera Country Club among the toughest greens to hit on the PGA Tour. So it's really difficult from tee to green. All in all, it's a very tough course. And as I mentioned a lot on the show, those are the courses I really like to watch on television and watch these guys try to grind their way through rounds. So I like this course. I think it's going to be a very good challenge for all the players once again. If you look at the winning scores, it's usually found somewhere between 12 and 18, 19 under. It kind of just depends on the wind. Last year, we saw the wind pick up very heavily, and JJ Spawn won this thing at 13 under. So anytime you're in Texas, you got to be wary of the wind. The Texas wind will always get you. Doesn't look like we have anything too crazy on the forecast as of this moment, but with the weather, you just always got to stay tuned. Those guys are guessing as a profession, which is kind of what me and you are doing at the same time. So I'm not going to knock on them too much here. But weather is something to consider at this course. It's long, it's difficult, it's going to be a beast. Maybe you want to lean towards bombers or elite ball strikers because those are the guys that seem to have the advantage. And looking at some of the winners here in recent years, most of them are good ball strikers as well. So it's kind of what I'm looking at as we head into the week. A course that I really do like to watch, though, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, you made a great point there. We're always guessing. They're going to be guessing. We're going to be guessing. The guesswork, though, tries to come with a little bit of research involved with it. So, I mean, this week, Jack, I don't feel strongly about anything. I really don't. There's some weeks where I have some major conviction on certain golfers, and this week I really don't. You mentioned the weather. Yeah, we'll see what kind of transpires that way. Mother Nature can be a bitch. So we'll see if that's the case again this week. I have no idea. But if it is playing in more of that 12 under, 13 under type of range this year, you can pretty much guarantee that the weather did play a little bit of a factor. Because Corey Connors, when he won, 20 under. So a little bit of a discrepancy there. That was 2019. They didn't play on this course in 2020, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. At the top of the board, it's the not the Weasel. I was gonna call him the Weasel. He's just like the anger management dude to me. The anger management dude is at the top of the board, and apparently he's hurt. That was something I don't know. I mean, we know Hideki's hurt. Hideki Matsuyama's hurt. So does Terrell Hatton give a shit this week? He's 13-1. He's at the top. Does he care enough to win this tournament, or is he healthy enough to win this tournament?
All very good questions. And I think for that reason, Tyrrell Hatton at 13-1, for me at least, is simply unbettable. I mean, he was on a tremendous run there through Florida. Seems to always play his best golf here in North America down in Florida, but injured his wrist last week on the practice range right before the match play tournament started. Tried to power through it and ended up playing absolutely terrible. Didn't get out of his group. I don't even think he won a match, if I'm being honest. So not a good week for Tyrrell Hatton. I don't know why he's here, Joey. Like, he's already qualified for the Masters. He's obviously not 100%. He's not coming off a good week. We've had designated events 3 of the last 4 weeks. The Masters is coming up in 2 weeks. It's not like Tyrrell Hatton really needs to show anything this week, right? Like, maybe he wants to prove to himself that he feels good, or maybe he wants to find out for himself what he needs to work on. I don't really know. I'm just not confident in where he's at whatsoever. I get he had a great Florida run, but there's just too many question marks for me right now to bet Tyrrell Hatton 13-1 at a tournament where we've also seen 5 of the last 8 tournaments, first-time winners have emerged victorious. Now, I'm not saying that's going to stop me from betting guys at the top, but when everything's involved with Tyrrell Hatton right now and he's at 13-1, all that tells me he's just unbettable, Joey. So I'm out on Tyrrell Hatton. For that reason, I'm out.
I like that. He was the first person I looked at and was like, you know what? This might be the week that I bet on a favorite. And then I was like, never mind, he's hurt. And never mind, the Masters is next week. And never mind, why the fuck is he here? Like you said. Why is he here? I'm sorry, but you gave me those odds before the show, plus 350, I think it was, to miss the cut. He could be the Siwoo Kim this week. This could be a Siwoo Kim miscut waiting to happen with Real Hatton. So,
couple holes in, not a good start. I'm just gonna hop on the plane and go to Augusta. I like 350 to 1 Hatton to miss the cut. That might have to end up on the betting card at this point.
well, it's just the fact it's got more value than 13 to 1. If we factor everything in, right? It's just got more value. And I mean, yeah, you're going to get paid out more with the 13 to 1, but can you risk that when he's never really a favorite like this? I can't. So, yeah, pass on Hatton. After that, we've got Ricky Fowler, who needs to win to get into the Masters. So,
forgot to mention that earlier. For everyone out there who doesn't know, the Valero Texas Open serves as the last opportunity to get invited to the Masters. And the only way you can get invited, if you haven't done so already, to Augusta National is by winning this tournament. So a majority of the field, basically 90% of these guys, haven't qualified for the Masters. And we've seen it in years past. Corey Connors won his way into the Masters. JJ Spawn won his way into the Masters last year as well. So it's a common thing that happens. But yes, you are correct. Ricky Fowler does need to win to get into the Masters so he can do his proverbial handshake with whoever the winner is off of the 18th green. It's like been a staple for Ricky over his career. And then he didn't qualify for the Masters last year. So like Justin Thomas had to, kind of just fill his shoes. I'm sure Ricky was like watching in his living room with like a cup of tea and like one single tear rolled down his face as he watched Justin Thomas dap up Scotty Scheffler, being like, that should be my job. But Ricky, he's got to win this week in order to be able to go shake the winner's hand off of the 18th green next week. You think it's going to happen, Joey? You in on Ricky at 18 to 1?
Absolutely fucking not.
No way.
Absolutely not. Dude, 18 to 1. He's been better.
He's been good. Ricky's been good. Ricky's been better. Ricky's been good.
He's been legitimately good, but do you think he's good enough to win, especially back against the wall? Like, Ricky hasn't won for – when's the last time Ricky won? When actually the last time that he won? I'm trying to think in my head. I don't off the top of my head.
What did he win? It was – he won the Waste Management was his last win. 2019, he won the Waste Management.
Oh, 2019. Okay. So it's been –
Hunter, I'll tell you what, Ricky don't win often, but he's won the Players in the Waste Management, baby. So he's probably not winning the Valero Texas Open.
He's got some big ones. Like Waste Management's nothing to sneeze at. That's a tournament right there. But and so is the Players, obviously. But I mean, dude, I just because the narrative is he's got to win to get in doesn't mean he's going to win. And the odds are stacked against him because there's better golfers, in my opinion, at this stage in their career below him. And it's not a strong field. It's not like everybody's geared up for next week. The guys that need to be there next week are already in next week. They're not here. So I don't know. Ricky could win. Do I see it? No, I absolutely not. Siwoo Kim, just talked about him with Tyrrell Hatton, possibly being a withdrawal. Siwoo's interesting. You got Siwoo Kim, you got Corey Connors kind of paired up next to each other. 22 to 1 for Siwoo, 24 to 1 for Corey Connors, which I think was a little bit better odds than I saw him at before, unless I don't remember seeing that 24 number. But those two I do have interest in. What are your thoughts there about those two in particular?
Siwoo's the one. I mean, Corey Connors is my boy. Don't get it twisted. I love me some Corey Connors. He just doesn't win. Like he just doesn't do it. And I love Corey Connors. And if I miss out on a win, I'll be extremely sad. But 24 to 1 for. I mean, I know he's won here. Yes.
Yeah, his placements outside of just that have been pretty good here, right? So
I feel like he's a guy that. I love Corey, but he hasn't even really been in contention all that much recently. Like he hasn't even been close on Sundays. He hasn't even really like played meaningful golf. Sure, it's all meaningful, but winning meaningful golf on a Sunday. We haven't even seen Corey Connors kind of be in contention. And when you're giving me Siwoo Kim at basically the same odds on a course where he's really had a lot of success in the past, and actually, Joey, this is one of the best courses that he putts on in his entire career. I like the change that Siwoo Kim has made with the putter. He's gone to the broomstick. He's putted exceptionally well so far since he's done that. He's been playing the most consistent golf of his entire career, right? So I think honestly, I do think my card's probably going to start at Siwoo Kim. I really do like him, and it does break my heart to pass on Corey Connors. I bet him on this tournament last year at basically these same odds. He came like 30th, and like, yeah, it's a fine finish for Corey Connors. I just don't know if he has true winning upside. I know he has done it here, yes, but we just don't see him in contention consistently enough for me to bet a number like this on him personally.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to disagree on the upside part, but you even said it. He has won here. So he does have the upside. We know that. Like the actual upside, yes. But will he do it again? Like is he doing it now? And that's really that's what you have to ask yourself about every one of these guys. So I'm very caught in between, Jack, on both of them with Siwoo and Corey Connors. I want one of them. And you might have just pushed me over the hump to go ahead and bet on Siwoo Kim. Because I don't know about Connors right now. Has he really been but like that's the thing. Sam Burns was kind of the same way recently too, though. He's had his moments where he's been down, and then look at last week. I know it's match play, it's a little bit different, but the guy got hot. So I feel like Connors is kind of in that same bucket, but you're like the Corey Connors guy. So if you have a read on him, I probably should just take your advice, even though Siwoo's kind of your guy too, though. So yeah, maybe we're just betting Siwoo Kim this week. I think that might be the logical option.
Siwoo's been on a good run. He's gaining off the tee every week. For the most part, he's been gaining with the flat stick, which has just been a massive change for him. And looking what he's done here in the past couple of years, just lost my spot. I apologize. Where's my boy Siwoo? Finished T4 in 2019, T23 in 2021, T13 in 2022. As I mentioned, this is one of the places where he putts really well. And funny enough, for everyone listening, one of the only places he putts better at is Augusta National. And I bet Siwoo at the Masters every year. I mean, it always happens. I will be on Siwoo next week. And I'm probably going to be on Siwoo this week too.
His odds are going to be nice next week, right? What I don't know what his future odds are on it right now, but
that's the tough part, because if Siwoo does win this week, those odds are going to be shit next week. And
you better bet him now. You better just do it. Just do it. If you're betting him, if you're planning on betting, bet him now.
Probably right. Honestly, yeah.
Unless he's terrible. If he's terrible, then you're going to get better odds and you're going to be kicking yourself, though. Right?
Tough. Yes, you are right.
So, I don't know what you do. Maybe you do a little sprinkle, like a little sprinkle now, a little sprinkle later, or just don't bet more later. But you're going to anyways. Davis Riley after that, 25-1. Hideki Hineki had injury, 25-1. Why is he 25-1? I don't understand that. Taylor Montgomery, that's just pedigree right there. That is literally just pedigree for Hideki Matsuyama. I don't know why he's 25-1. Montgomery, 27-1. Chris Kirk, 28-1. Matt Kuchar, 31-1. And then you have JJ Spawn, a past winner here at 33-1. This level, Jack, where are you getting, if anyone?
Yeah, this is a really intriguing range for me because I wasn't really all that interested in starting at the top. I do think this is where I got to make some decisions still in this range. I do think I want to start with Siwoo, but all in all, the ones who have stood out to me, Matt Kuchar, I mentioned last year, was someone that I was on and always plays well in match play. I think that's why I like him so much. It always looks like he has good form. I don't know if you remember when we did this show last year. I remember doing the show last year, Joey. Matt Kuchar is a must top 40 bet at this place. He's made the cut here 10 years in a row. It's an absolute must. You have to bet Matt Kuchar top 40, maybe even a top 20. Came close to winning this thing last year with a T2. Matt Kuchar is Mr. Valero. Let me pull up his run that he's been on over his career, but he's the one that really has intrigued me. I don't love 31-1 for Matt Kuchar. I get it's a weaker field. I don't absolutely love that, but he's the one, excuse me, that stood out to me the most. Chris Kirk was the other one, and I feel like Chris Kirk, he's probably won enough for the next 3 or 4 years, and the odds of him winning 2 times in like a month span is very limited, but he's just been playing so good. And in a field like this, he also has a pretty good track record at TPC San Antonio himself too. He's got 3 top 10s in his last 7 starts there. So Chris Kirk's been good here. Matt Kuchar's been good here. Those are probably the 2 guys that I'm looking at the most in particular. What do you like in this range?
Well, Kuchar, you were talking about his how he's been here. Yeah, you're right, dude. Like the last three, he's a second place, a seventh place, and a 12th place as far as finishes. Not in that order, but last year was a second place finish here. So, I mean, I was right away drawn to Kuchar, and Kuchar was my one and done pick last week. So which we kind of did that a little bit late, but still, that was somebody who I was definitely in on as well for the match play. And if he's so good here, why not? He could definitely pull out a win here. I could see that, and I think he's definitely a high floor guy. I don't know what his top 40 is or top 20 is, but I think I'm interested in that. Top 40, I wonder you're probably going to get some minus juice there, but top 20 though, I think I definitely would get in on the Kuchar. Chris Kirk is also the guy in here that I kind of want a piece of, but thinking the same way that you are, I think it's tough to win this many or win two in such a short span of time that I don't really see that happening for Kirk. But at the same time, could he? Absolutely. And yeah, that's one of the guys that it's either Kirk or Kuchar, Siwoo or Connors, Kirk or Kuchar. I'm going with Siwoo. I've changed it over. I'm going with Siwoo. But for this range, I'm kind of breaking it down by ranges now. Yeah, I'm still divided. I'm really divided on these two.
I would go Kuchar over Kirk. I do think Taylor Montgomery's a little interesting because he putted the lights out last week as he always does.
Yeah.
I just don't love the number.
No, I don't. I hate that number. Well, to be honest with you, I hate all of these numbers now.
Fair. I hate Kuchar 31-1. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Understandably, though, that's actually probably a pretty good value with how well he's done here, right?
Probably, yeah.
So I think Kuchar probably does make the most sense. Yeah, I do like the Kuchar call if we're ranking them. Underneath that, Ryan Fox, Alex Noren, Thomas Dietrich, 45-1. Ben Griffin is 48-1. Brendan Todd, the Todd Faja, 48-1. Matt Wallace, 48-1. And then you got your 50s guys. I'll mention Ken Davis's name. He's 50-1. The rest of them we might get into in a second. The guy I really like in this range, I've been in on him almost every week. I'm not going to be in on him this week. He's always up there, dude. He's always up there. At least at some point in time in the tournament, it feels like he's up there. Thomas Dietrich, 45-1. Could he get his first win here? I think he can. I really think he can. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But at 45-1, with who's in this tournament, yeah, I'm going with Dietrich. I hope he pulls it out.
I do like Thomas Dietrich this week. Can he win? I don't know. He's been so consistent. I mean, arguably rookie of the year right now. This dude just lives and makes top 20s. It's ridiculous.
He's getting a top 10 this week for sure, right?
I mean, you'd think.
I don't want to say for sure, but like, yeah.
I'm not going to say for sure, but Thomas Dietrich has just been playing such steady golf. I misspoke earlier. This is the range where I really have to make some decisions because Ryan Fox, Foxy Cleopatra, baby, he's been great worldwide all over the place. And even on courses that he's never played throughout the Florida swing, dude has 2 top 20s in his last 3 starts, an absolute bomber off the tee, which, as I've mentioned, I think that does give you a little bit of an advantage here with all the distance on basically every hole. That's the strength of Ryan Fox's game. So I think he's interesting. I'm out on Boren, Alex Noren. I do like Ben Griffin. I think Ben Griffin just quietly has been playing such good golf. And I actually saw on our sponsor, Bet Rivers, with the enhanced odds, which, by the way, for all the fans out there, definitely go and check out Bet Rivers enhanced odds, usually where I make most of my bets. Ben Griffin was all the way up to 55-1 there. I think that's a pretty good line. And I am a sucker for Cam Davis, too. And he finally has turned it around. Apparently, he was dealing with a little bit of an injury. We saw him perform well at the Players with the top 10 there and then had a decent run at the match play. His tee to green game, his ball striking numbers have returned, which is what you want to see out of Cam Davis. He's also someone who's really good at par 5 scoring. So I think that's something that could help him this week in a place where it's going to be difficult to find a lot of birdies. Obviously, I can't bet all of these guys. I can maybe bet one or two of them if I'm only going to go Siwoo and Kuchar, which it looks like I'm going to do at the top right now. I would say the two that have the most interest to me are probably Ben Griffin and I'll go Dietrich, but him and Fox are like right in that same category for me. Who do you like here? Besides, obviously, I know Dietrich.
Yeah, Dietrich for me, but I do like Griffin. I think if I was going to get to another one, it would be Griffin in that range. Not as much on Fox. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like a great reason to not be on Fox though. It's just I'm just not going to bet him. That's pretty much it.
He's been on a run, man. He's been on a run. Listen to this. This is worldwide. His last 6 starts. Tied 20th at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic, T11 at the Ras Al Khaimah Championship, T17 at the Singapore Classic, T14 at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, T27 at the Players, T17 at the Match Play.
You know what that sounds like to me?
20 bet for Ryan Fox.
Yeah, I was like, you know what that sounds like to me? I was thinking like top 20, top 30, something like that.
He gains off the tee and on distance every week. The irons have been on fire. He's intriguing. I know a lot of people don't know much about him, and I think if he places inside the top 50 this week, he gets his PGA Tour card.
Ooh.
But he's a good player. He's popped up at the U.S. Open a couple times in the past. I'm torn between Fox and Dietrich.
Yeah, I'm still gonna. I gotta go with my boy, but I'm not. Yeah, I like what you're saying. I think that's a lot of good numbers that you're bringing up, and a lot of good. He's had a lot of good placements here recently on a good little run. So, yeah, maybe that's a top 20 or top 30 bet for me, though. I think I might go ahead and do that. But 50-1, we mentioned Cam Davis. Davis Thompson is interesting to me because of the driver. He hits it far, Jack. You said this is a week where you want to have some guys probably that are going to be smoking it. Are you getting to Davis Thompson, or is that price a little rich?
I'm not getting to Davis Thompson because his driver's been great. His irons have been dog shit. His irons have been so bad. Bad. And you can put it out 350 yards. You're still going to have 170 in. And with these greens being some of the most difficult to hit on the PGA Tour, go to Data Golf real quick and go take a peep at Davis Thompson's irons. I don't
know if I want to.
They've been straight dog shit. So I'm not going to get there this week. It just doesn't feel like it would be. Maybe it's a time to buy back in. I don't know. I'm not going to do it at 50-1 though. For him to win the tournament, nah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to check out the Data Golf because I think we're going to be scared. I don't like being scared.
Interesting though, and also bombs it.
Who's that?
Hogard.
Hogard?
Yeah.
Hogard. There's some smoke behind him this week too. I see. That's not a name I was expecting to hear this week. I really was not, but I've been hearing this Hogarden cat. His name's been popping out of there from a lot of people, a lot of respected guys in the industry. What are your thoughts on Hogard this week?
He absolutely nukes it, and he's kind of been on a Ryan Fox-esque run across the world right now. He just finished second last week at the Corrales Punta Cana Championship. Matt Wallace, by the way, won that tournament last week for his first PGA Tour victory. But Hojgaard, T32 the week before at the Hero Indian Open, T5 at the Thailand Classic, T10 at the Abu Dhabi Championship. Gains literally off the tee and on distance, like a ton on distance every week. And I know last week he was 34 plus 34 on the field in distance at the Corrales Punta Cana Championship. He's an absolute beast. Him and his brother are monsters from Denmark. I'm intrigued a little bit. 50-1. I'd rather bet that 50-1 than Davis Thompson 50-1.
Yeah, me too. And I don't really know much about Hogarden, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think I would still rather do that because I know a little bit about Davis Thompson. It's the driver for me that the only reason why I mentioned that. But if you're saying this guy just smokes it, why not go that route?
Smokes it.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be playing in the Garden of Eden here, maybe. The whole Garden of Eden. Oh, I kind of like that. And then we got the accuracy dude right underneath him. And sorry for skipping past Matt Wallace's name, by the way. Like, he didn't just win that tournament. That was really disrespectful of me. I didn't mean to do that. That was disrespectful to Matt
I'll
Wallace.
apologize right now to Matt Wallace.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt. If you're listening to this, I know you are. Very sorry. Aaron Rye, the rye bread, the accuracy king. I can't do it this week, but I do like Aaron Rye, but I can't do it. Andrew Putnam, he's at 55-1. Bezadenhout is 55-1. Adam Shank. I think we told ourselves we're not going to bet on people whose name are Shank anymore. Like, they're a golfer. You can't bet on that guy anymore. But then once we said that, then he started to have some good. Like, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me? That's why, because he's a fucking Cardinals fan. That's why, Jack. He had to punish us, punish me. So should have never bet on him. I should have definitely learned my lesson. Watch him win this tournament, though. Bo Hostler, 60-1. I don't know any other guys between this range and maybe before we get to the 70 mark, or you can throw in Taylor Pendrith, who has not been good, into that bucket. What are you thinking about here?
Yeah, two guys that stand out to me, I would say Adam Shank actually is the first one. I'm definitely going to bet Adam Shank.
Oh my God!
Got a top 10 here in 2019. Got literally fucked by that tree at the Valspar. Really unfortunate situation for Mr. Shank, who, by the way, hit just a ridiculously, even better than he thought, lefty shot to get out of trouble there. Hits it left-handed next to the tree, makes clean contact, and hits like 120 yards.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, can't get up and down for the par to force the playoff. But I'm in on Adam Shank. I think he took the week off last week. He's playing some good golf, gaining with the putter every week right now. The irons and the driver, it kind of feels like they're like flipping off week by week, and I'm just hoping that I can catch him at the right time. I just think 60-1 for Adam Shank in this field after he just almost won the Valspar 2 weeks ago, which was a better field than this, not by much, but a better field. 60-1. I'm going to take a chance on Adam Shank. The other guys that interested me, I will say Bo Hostler. He was someone who was hovering in contention here on Sunday last year, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I don't bet on Bo Hostler because of that reason, because every time I watch Bo Hostler in contention on Sunday, his driver fails him. His driver just goes wayward. And I love Bo. I watch a lot of YouTube golf content with Bo Hostler. I love Bo Hostler. Hilarious dude. I do think he's got the Sunday scaries. It reminds me of Keegan before Keegan pulled off the dub at the Zozo, where I was really worried about Keegan's Sunday scaries. Bo Hostler fits in that conversation. Sam Ryder, I also think, is someone who this tournament was in Florida. I think I'd be a little bit more inclined to bet him, but he's been playing some decent golf as well, and 65-1 feels like a decent number. So those are the three guys I think that stood out to me the most in this range, considering I can probably only bet one of them. It's going to be my boy, Adam Shank, probably.
He can be your boy from now on. He's got to be 100-1 before I bet him again. Because there was a couple of those tournaments where I thought he was really going to have a solid tournament, and he did not. So he's got to be 100-1. Yeah, I'm looking at it here, man. There's a couple interesting names, like Eric Cole, Will Gordon. I mean, I just don't know. Like, Will Gordon's a guy who I always tend to like, even if the reasoning is not always the greatest. But I do think he's a guy with potential, and I think he's going to eventually be pretty good. But he's pretty inconsistent too. So I don't know, man. Smalley, Beniana, I think I'm probably more in the long shot range after this, even though Seppi's way down here. Like, are you thinking 100-1 or further? Do you have anybody, or do you have anybody before 100-1 at all?
I'm really getting thin once it gets down to here. Ben Martin is someone who I think has been playing well, kind of quietly, 2 top 10s in his last 4 starts, T5 at Honda, which of course was a weaker field just like this. T8 last week at the Corrales Punta Cana at 90-1. I don't think those are terrible odds. Sepp Straka, 100-1. I mean, Sepp's been off the face of the earth for so long, but you know he can pop up, and when he does, he can win or he can get in a playoff. Like, he does have that upside. You just got to find out when he's going to pop. That's the difficult part about that. Yeah, not a whole lot of interest down here. I've seen, obviously, the Akshay buzz. There's always Akshay buzz week in and week out. I've seen buzz on Eric Van Rooyen this week as well. I've seen people on him.
That's odd to me. I don't understand the Van Rooyen thing this week. I really don't.
He's a shot in the dark, 100%. By the way, Kevin Chappell is in this field. He's 180 to 1.
Jesus.
So is my boy Lucas Glover. He's 180 to 1, and I bet him last year. I might have to bet just 5 on Lucas Glover again this year. That might have to happen. The last big number that I really did like before we kind of tie things together here was Hayden Buckley, 130 to 1. Listen, I know Hayden Buckley's missed 4 cuts in a row and hasn't been very good. But like a month ago, he was like 60 to 1, 70 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Stinks. Like Hayden Buckley, you don't think he can take down this field because he's had a bad stretch in designated events? Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. So I thought that was too big of a number for Hayden Buckley. Obviously, a fellow Mizzou boy myself, I do have a little bias towards him, but it's not all that long ago that he was right there on 18 at the Stony Open and almost won. Much better field than this. So all I'm saying.
I like Buckley. I don't like him this week because of what you mentioned, the straight missed cuts. Like, that just scares me going into any tournament. But I like Buckley overall. There was a name you said, the buzz on Akshay Bhatia. I got to throw a dart there, 100 to 1. I think this kid is going to be really, really good eventually. Is that now? No, of course not. But I do think that there's going to be a time where we're sitting here and we're looking at him at 40 to 1 and we're like, wow, that's good odds on Akshay.
Yeah, I do believe that. I believe in Akshay's talent.
So the fact that he's 100 to 1 and Lingmerth, actually, I like Lingmerth.
You love you some Lingmerth. Why? Let me ask you why. Where did you fall in love with David Lingmerth and how did it happen?
Okay, he randomly has good it's good placements for me, and maybe that's just stupid that I'm going off of some of these results, but he also he pops in models. Like, he pops in the models for whatever reason as a course fit on a lot of these courses. And that's from using like the data golf stuff like that. If you want to go, you can research it, go to datagolf.com. But I don't know where he's at this week as far as that model goes, the fit being there. I'm not betting him at 110 to 1, but I'm just pointing it out there. If he ever does win a tournament, just remember me. Just remember he was my guy all along, and I never faded away from him. I never did not bet him. So this week, my card might say that I didn't bet him, but just know in my heart I bet David Lingmerth.
I think my problem with Lingmerth is he doesn't hit the ball anywhere. He averages like 270 off the tee and loses distance every week. But he has been.
This is not the course for him. This is not
the course for David Lingmerth, I don't think. But he has been good. He's got like 5 top 10s in the last like 6 months. It's actually pretty solid for David Lingmerth.
Yeah, so quit giving me shit then, Jack. All right, you can't agree with me. That'd be like, what's this David Lingmerth stuff?
You have a crush on a 35-year-old Swedish dude.
Yeah, it's really weird too if you think about the history between Swedish people and Italians. But I do have a lot of really, really good friends that are Swedish. You're not even supposed to say stuff like that anymore, but it's true. It's very true. If you're listening to this, my buddy Will, But anyways, let's go ahead and move on here to what, prop bets? Did we do any props this week?
I got nada. I'm saving all my Skrilla for the Masters next week, bro. I don't give a fuck about this tournament.
I mean, we said we were like torn on this tournament before, and now we're just like, we're to the end of the episode, and now we don't care. We just don't.
I do care, but I'd much rather win props on the Masters next week. I'll probably bet Kuchar, like top 20, or maybe even Ryan Fox top 20. That's probably all I'm getting to, though. I'm not like trying to throw money around this week.
No, I feel you. I'm the same way. Like I said, I got futures to still place for baseball. I have futures for the Masters this week to place before everything gets out of hand and rearranges itself come Monday, right? I think it'll be Monday probably when everything shakes out as far as odds go. So
yeah,
I'm super excited for next week. I'm super excited for Thursday, for this tournament, and for opening day. I don't really have any props this week either. I might find like a random head-to-head, or we've talked about enough top 40-ish, plays that we can do, or top 20, top 10 plays. That's kind of where I'm going. One and done. Who do you got this week, Jack? You had Mr. Cam Young last week. You knocked me off again. And I felt good with Matt Kuchar, and he did pretty well.
He did well.
But it is what it is. You beat me again, fair and square.
I have a very interesting idea for next week that I'm going to save for next week's show about the one and done.
Ooh.
I think we could spice it up a little bit for the Masters. Not to toot my own horn here. I am up a pretty sustainable amount, but I think I have.
You should toot your own horn. Well, yeah, I'm excited though for the.
I'm gonna save it, but one and done this week is very interesting. Man, I wanted to go with my boy Siwoo, but then I realized I used Siwoo at the American Express already, and he finished 22nd. You know what? I'm gonna use my boy Corey Connors.
Oh my! I haven't bet him yet, have I? I have not. I mean, I haven't put him in my one and done, and I had him written down.
No,
this
you have
this
not.
is why I hate you being in the lead. This is why I hate this, because it seems like every week or every other week you take somebody who I was really strongly considering.
Hate to do it.
But it pays off to be right though. So you're all right. Let's do this. He's my boy for a reason. I bet him for a reason. Who are you thinking I'm going to say? I'll let you guess first, and then I'll say it.
Thomas Dietrich.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it, Thomas Dietrich.
I'm actually surprised you haven't used him.
I was too. I had to look back at the sheet. I thought for sure I used him, but
I was thinking you used him, but you used your other boy, Dean Burmeister, the first week of the year at Sanderson.
Yeah, and where the hell's he been now?
Yeah, he's fallen off a cliff. He finished 4th at that tournament though for you. I think that is. Oh, other than Chris Kirk winning in your one and done, which was great by the way. That's awesome. You're the only one to have a one and done winner this year.
Oh, let's go.
Dean Burmeister's 4th place finish, other than Chris Kirk's win, is your best finish in the one and done this year. So
well, those are like my only good finishes this year.
Let me hold on. Let me piece this together here. You have one. Yeah, you have 3 top 10s on the year. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6.
Yeah, that's one more than I thought I had, but still 6 of them. Plus, you've only had like 1 or 2 guys miss the cut, period.
Yeah, I've had 2 guys miss the cut. I had, man, it's hard to look at the sheet now. There's so many names on it. I've only had 1 guy miss the cut, and that was Keegan Bradley at the Players because he literally gagged it away on 18. Thanks, Keegan.
Yeah, thanks. Your other boy. Your other boy.
The guy I've had missed the cut in the one and done the entire year. That's actually pretty crazy.
Dude, I don't know that many people that have that record.
I'm actually a little salty I'm not in like a one and done pool because I'd be doing pretty damn good, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing that we're doing this head-to-head against each other, and I'm doing well. I shouldn't feel that bad, actually. Now I don't feel that bad because you would be killing it in like a regular tournament, and we're just doing it against each other. Do we have like a?
I'm going to give you a way back in next week, though. That's my hint. I'm going to give you a way back in next week. But you're going to have to win.
Ooh.
If you lose, then you're fucked.
Ooh, all right. Pick the winner. That's not that hard. We don't try that every week and miss more times than not. But
the problem is you already know who I'm using for next week. Don't spoil it right now, but you know who
I won't do that to you. I think it's a great pick. I think I'm scared already because just leave it at that.
You're officially going with Thomas Dietrich, though?
I am going with Thomas Dietrich, yep. And so I was going to ask you, too, do we have like an argumentative bet this week? Like, is there something that we're fighting? We're battling out against each other, like a little water bet?
Well, I haven't made my decisions on the 40 range, but if I don't end up getting to Dietrich, it'll probably be because I get to Ryan Fox it'll probably be because I get to Ryan Fox. So I'm going to have to see how it shakes out. You're in on Siwoo?
Yeah, I'm in on Siwoo. Yep.
Yeah, we don't really have much that we're opposing with this week. Are you going to be in on Kuchar over Kirk? Or are you just going to pass on that in general?
No, I like Kuchar over Kirk, but I'm not sure if I'm going to – I think – did I say I was going to bet on Kuchar? Now you got me forgetting what I said, but I think I would bet Kuchar. So we're not really arguing there, are we?
No, I think the only thing is if it comes down to whether or not I'm going to bet Dietrich, which honestly I don't know if I am. But we'll see.
If you're not, let me know if you're not, which look, I'm going to advise you too because I do like Dietrich this week, but I always like Dietrich. So if you don't, let me know. We'll post it on like the On Tap Golf account on Twitter. and maybe we'll have something that we create where Dietrich or Ryan Fox, if whoever places better, whoever does better in the tournament, I don't know. The loser's a rotten egg. What's the actual bet? Like, what are we doing? I don't
I'll
know.
come up with something good. I'll come up with some good content ideas before it all shakes out. I just gotta see how my card's gonna look, brother.
All right, yeah, let me know. It's only Tuesday. We tried to do this a little bit earlier. We're gonna try to stick with Tuesdays here at Golf on Tap because it's a little bit. Wednesday's too late. Let's just be honest. Wednesday's a little bit too late. You're finalizing your bets on Wednesday. On Tuesday, you need the content. On Wednesday morning, you need the podcast to drop. So we're gonna try to be better about all this stuff. We've been grinding it out all season, though. We haven't gone anywhere. It's just a matter of we're sticking to it. We're doing it. We're sticking to it. Jack, with that said, any final thoughts here for the Valero Texas Open just before the Masters?
On to Augusta, baby. That's all I'm excited for next week. Ooh, I did want to tell you this. I do have to get out of here real quick. Puck drop is in 2 minutes, but I can miss a few minutes. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. I am with my buddy. I think we're going to try to recreate Scotty Scheffler's Masters dinner, and I think I'm going to try to bash it on Wednesday night before the Masters.
Ooh, let's go. You
Sounds
need
like a
to.
good idea, don't it?
Oh yeah, and you need to record that.
Oh, I will. It will absolutely be on camera. The phone will eat first. Don't you worry. I am a basic white girl. Don't worry.
The phone will eat first. Well, we're going to be eating from our houses just looking at it, I'm sure. But yeah, with that said, we hope everybody cashes their bets, wins a tournament. Let's win a tournament. Let's win an outright, please. Can we win an outright? Can I place better than Jack in the one and done? Can I win the water bet, the Kraken bet, whatever you want to call it? We are Golf on Tap. You can follow us on Twitter at OnTapGolf. You can follow Jack at JackBushman2. You can follow me at Joey Knows Nothing. Follow all the great work at OnTapSportsNet.com and at OnTapSportsNet on all social media platforms. We have Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, bets content. Obviously, this is a part of that. Betting content. Really, whatever you need. If it's Chicago sports related or if it's just sports related, it's probably there. So that's what's on tap in Chicago sports. Jack, we're out of here. Crack them, lock them, cash them, and good luck, everybody.